and we are very sorry about that inconvenience where we had to restart the live stream, but we are now fully operational and back at it again. And now we're just waiting for the lobby to start, and as soon as it starts, I'll be back with you. So now we are back, and for the beginning of the SRL Indy 500, and today I'm going to be your commentator. My name is Samuel Brandt, and I'm going to be taking you through this version of the SRL Indy 500. So we're just following Cameron Western Edwards right now on track, and if you have any questions throughout this live stream, you should feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as good as I am possibly can. So, we're back at it again, and we're currently watching Cameron Western Edwards, who is doing a flying lap here in qualifying. Coming around the last corner, last turn, heading on to start-finish straight to see what time he's going to be posting. Just going to follow him here, and he goes top of the table with a 40 seconds 0.7 flat. So I'm just gonna let's just start with who the drivers are today. We have, of course, previously mentioned Cameron Western Edwards. Then we have a new driver here, who is Tim Venting, who is a new driver to the SRL Racing League. And of course, we missed him, but here we have Vasilios Belazdiotis, a very well-known name in the league right now. Made his debut last season at this very race, in fact. Here we have Reese March, who is also becoming a very known name in SRL Racing League, obviously currently driving for Haas in the previous season. And then we have Colin Higgins, who is also partaking in this year's SRL Indy 500. He has also been in the league for quite some time at this point. Here we have Dion Stahl, who is alongside Sandro Dulis, who jumped to third, are one of two drivers who have been there from the beginning now. Of very beginning. And here we see a very known man, Kamikaze Fox, also a commentator on the F1 series. So he's also becoming very known at this point. And of course we can't forget current runner-up of the Formula 1 series, Francis McGinn, who's also going to be taking part in this year's SRL Indy 500. We did talk about Tim for just a brief moment. I want to touch upon him just a little bit more than that, as he is a debutant for this race and for the SRL Racing League. And we just want to introduce him. He's from the Netherlands, and he's not only driving at the Indy 500, he is going to be found in the F1 series as well when that kicks off on the other side of the summer break. He's going to be driving for Renault Sport Formula 1 team, and he's also going to take part in the IMSA Championship on Project Cars 2 that is also going to kick off after the summer break, where he is looking like he's going to be driving with the prototype team High Class Racing. So he'll be looking to prove, as he jumps to second place, as we're saying, he will be looking to prove himself at this race, prove that he is worthy of being a driver in this league. And of course he has some really tough names to go up against. And talking about Renault Sport Formula 1 team, we follow here Colin Higgins, who is a new driver for that specific team. So two teammates in the Formula 1 series here battling, giving each other a draft to improve their times. And let's talk about some more Formula 1, as this is qualifying and usually not much actually happens, as we follow Vasilios Belostiotis, who has made a name for himself in this league at this point. A very well-known driver at this point. A solid top class driver from Greece, alongside his fellow countryman Sandro Doulis, who I believe is the one drafting him currently. But let's speak about Vasilios. He has also, like Colin and Tim, he's in a new team this season, or for next season I would rather say. He's in the Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula 1 team. So swapping from the Constructors Champion of Racing Point Force India, and now he is going to be found in the Mercedes team. Sandro Doulis, not much to say about him. We all know him, and he's not moving anywhere in the Formula 1 team. Yeah, there's not really much to say about him, apart from that he's also going to be taking part in the IMSA Championship. He's going to be driving for Konica Minolta Cadillac, which is going to be the top class in the prototype field in that racing series. And also Vasilios, he's also going to be taking part in that series, as Sandro jumps to second there. He is 2,000ths off Vasilios currently, so doesn't seem like Sandro has the same problem as he had last year, where his slipstream in-game for some reason decided not to work, and he is it seems to have worked so far at least, and, currently sitting 2,000ths off Vasilios, and Vasilios gets a draft down the main straight. Sandro as well. Doesn't change anything. But touching upon Sandro's IMSA team, Cadillac, Konica Minolta Cadillac, Vasilios obviously also going to be found in that series, where he's going to be racing for High Class Racing alongside Tim Venting. And if we want to talk about Sandro's IMSA teammate, we have to jump to Cameron Weston Edwards, who is currently, it seems, sitting on pit road right now. But let's talk a little bit about him. He has also swapped Formula 1 team, as he was racing for Sauber Formula 1 team, and he has now gone to McLaren Formula 1 team instead, as he wanted a change of times and a change of scene, it seems like. So he has gone to the Papaya Orange McLaren team instead, and his teammate, who isn't racing today, is going to be René van der Steur, who previously raced for the Renault team, as Cameron spins it out of the pits. Oh, what has he done here? He's completely missed the pit exit. Sorry for my slurring language there. And Dion Stahl, just as well as Sandro, he's not much to talk about, to be honest, in the Formula 1 series. He's going to stay put at Scuderia Ferrari for a 5th season running alongside his teammate. In the IMSA Championship, though, he is going to be found at a new team. I believe it is going to be the Ford, Chip Ganassi Ford racing team. We see here we're going to be following Reese March, who came in after Bart Cadelda failed to show up for a number of races in the Formula 1 series, and he's been replacing him ever since the Belgium Grand Prix. And Reese March has signed a new contract for Season 5. He's going to be a full-time driver for the newly formed Rich Energy House Formula 1 team, and he's also going to be found in IMSA Championship at the Ford team alongside Dean Starr. And we're going to swiftly move on, as there's only 3.5 minutes left of qualifying. So we're going to jump to Francis McGinn, who finished runner-up. Ooh, what was that? That was someone spinning. It was, I believe it was it Sandro? No, it wasn't. It was Tim. So he had a bit of a hairy moment coming out of the pits, but seems to be alright. Talking about Francis McGinn, finished runner-up to Nick van Gelder, who isn't racing today, surprisingly. But he has announced that this race could well and truly be his final race as a driver in SRL. He has not left the option without a thought, obviously. He is not confirmed it 100% yet, but he is certainly not going to be racing in Formula 1 anymore. He is, however, going to be a race steward at the F1 races, so joining our other commentator as we speak about race stewards, Kamikaze Fox, or Lance LeBron, as his name well and truly is, as he has a bit of a moment coming out of the pits there. But yeah, Francis McGinn is going to team up with Lance LeBron to form a great race steward company, alongside with German Theo Stelz, who isn't here today and hasn't been in the league as an active racing driver since Season 2, where he raced for the Marussia team. But those three are going to form the FIA in SRL, and the same goes for the IMSA Championship, as Francis comes to a complete halt on the pit entry and he jumps straight into the pit box. Well, and here we have a man who is making his racing debut in SRL, as he is giving a massive tow to several cars coming to lap him. But Lance LeBron, Fox, whatever you want to call him, making his racing debut in SRL, and he's been commentating the Formula 1 series for 2 seasons now, and he is going to be commentating for the next season as well, so very much looking forward to that. Oh, there's a massive crash there for Cameron Weston Edwards, and there was a car flying there. Who was that? That seems to be... That is Vasilios. So Cameron Weston Edwards and Vasilios Belazdiotis coming together already. That was a bit of a hairy moment there for the two. And we know they have had a bit of a fight going on as well in the Formula 1 series in the past, where, especially at the first Grand Prix, where there was a lot of controversy involving around a crash which sent Cameron flying into the wall. Speculations were around Vasilios, if it was him who caused it. But again, they're gonna create a bit of a headline for themselves again, as for some reason this camera angle doesn't seem to work, but it doesn't really matter. It seems like they're very tired from the session. There is 33 seconds left of qualifying. So let's see. Vasilios is currently on pole position. Can Sandro challenge him? It's only 2000s at this moment. Is it going to be anything? I don't think it is. It's going to be Vasilios Belazdiotis as Higgins. No, that's not true. What happened there? I really don't know. So, Vasilios Belazdiotis takes pole position for this year's SRL Indy 500. And this is going to be very interesting, as we're going to see what has happened here. Following Vasilios. Has he retired? No, he hasn't. So there's something going on here. What is happening here? It seems like there might have been a glitch. What's happening here? But we're going to get going right now. 100 laps. And Colin Higgins takes the start, surprisingly. But Vasilios is on his tail. And they go... Is that 3? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Colin Higgins has been taken out by Vasilios Belazdiotis. And oh my goodness, what has happened there? Sandro Dool is involved, Colin Higgins involved. I think Rees was involved as well. Dion for sure involved. And Lance also involved. But Vasilios, he seems to have escaped with minimal damage, as Francis McGinn is on his tail right now. And you will remember, if you watched the last Formula 1 Grand Prix from Brazil, that these two, they know how to put on a show. And there was a bit of carbon fiber there Francis McGinn ran over. There is bits and pieces absolutely everywhere from everyone, as Cameron makes it onto pit road. Does he have damage? I think he might have. Dion makes his way onto pit road. I would think that Lance is also making his way onto pit road. There we have him. Yeah, for sure. Higgins crawling around. Sandro crawling around. And Rees, I actually don't know where he is right now. Seems like he is flipped. So it seems like, as we cut to the battle for the lead, but it seems like Rees March is over and out for this race, as Francis takes the lead of this year's Indy 500 after a first lap calamity for Vasilios, as it seemed like he was the one that was responsible for all the chaos. Sandro is still limping around. His car is not in good condition by any means. What about Colin Higgins? He is absolutely nowhere to be seen at the moment, it seems. Depends if he... Oh, there he is, crawling around in a limping car. There we have got Cameron and Dion out of the pits again. And right now they are still battling out in the front, Vasilios and Francis. So it looks like it's going to be between the former Racing Point Force India drivers, to battle it out, see who's going to win the Indy 500. Although saying that, Tim Venting, the debutant, the rookie, is actually not that far behind. He's only 2 seconds, so Francis and Vasilios can't afford to have any more calamities happening to them. And Dion is in again. What has happened there? And Lance has been there for quite some time now, and he must have massive damage. Higgins makes it onto pit road. Sandro's in the pits. Reese is still nowhere to be seen. We cut to the front battle. This is a great battle. But over half of the field was neutralized in that incident. So there's a bit of a lag spike there. France is really giving Vasilios a run for his money here. As you would imagine that Vasilios has some damage after that first lap incident. But this might be a good time to run through the procedure of what is going to happen. So, if you've been following SRL for the last couple of seasons, you would know in Indy 500 we actually run with it's actually split up into 4 stages. As we see Vasilios challenging Francis McGinn. Francis lacking all over the place. Who's that coming out of the pits? That might have been that's Dion. So many laps down already. But we're gonna run through the format. On lap 25, there's gonna be a caution where the front driver has to slow down to a maximum of, I think it's 100 miles an hour. And then everyone catches up to that car and the pits close. Everyone completes a lap following the car in front as Vasilios challenges, and he doesn't get it done. He has to go high for that. Francis covers the inside, the low line. But on lap 25, a caution comes out. Everyone slows down and follows the leading car. On lap 26, the pit road opens. Everyone who wants to make a pit stop can do it. Up until then, it's forbidden to do it. The pit road closes, I think it might be the lap before the caution comes out. Then, on lap 3 of the caution, there's going to be the possibility of lap cars to gain 1 lap back, and then the rest of the field that is on lap with the leading car slows down to a maximum of 60 miles an hour, I think it is. And then on lap 4, when they come around to finish lap 4 of the caution, it's go time again. So 4 laps of caution. And this repeats itself on lap 25, lap 50 and lap 75. So we're going to have 3 of those cautions, which kind of neutralizes the race a bit and brings back in the fighting pack. As we're just following Francis McGinn and Vasilios battling it out. And of course, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try and answer them. If it is possible for me to do that, we'll see. I'll do my very best. Still following the 2 leading cars here. This is effectively our closest battle on track right now. As Vasilios can't really get it done. Francis is really good at defending. He's covering the down on the low part of the banked corners. And Vasilios just doesn't have the speed to pass on the high ground. So we're going to cut to Tim, who this is not a battle for position, that is Dion's style, I would think. It very much is. That is Dion, so it's not for position. As Dion... Oh no! What has Dion done there? Oh no, Tim, he was running in a brilliant P3. I think that was very much Dion who tapped him to the inside wall. And Tim has lost his front wing and possibly also gotten some suspension damage. Closest car behind is Cameron, but he is nearly 1 minute behind. So you would think that Tim has time to come into the pits. As he does that, he makes his way onto the escape road to not get into the way of any other cars flying past him. But we're going to cut to the front. Again, just want to check up on Reese. He is still somewhere, which I don't know where he is. We're going to check that real quick because I am actually very curious to see. Yep, he is flipped and facing very much the direction that he doesn't want to be. He's not going to get anywhere from here. He's pinned up against a wall. He's not going anywhere. Really shameful, the young Briton. Colin makes his way onto pit road. Stop the tires. You would think that it is about time for some of the drivers to start thinking about conserving tires, conserving fuel. These bank corners really do take a toll on the tire wear. Still, Francis McGinn and Vasilios Balestiotis, closest battle on track right now. I'm just going to follow... Oh, there's been a crash! Oh no! What has happened here? Is that... No, wait, who was that? That is Reese March. Reese has been flipped by Tim. I would think that... What has happened here? I would very much think that he's lost his front wing again. Okay, so what I think happened here is Tim came out of pits, out of the pit road, made his way onto the pit. Oh, he gets very close to Dion there, but Tim might have... What's happened here? Yep, Tim has exited the pits, possibly spun the car, and he has managed to pin Reese March the right side up. And Reese, even though... Oh, he gets very close there. Oh, he has massive suspension damage. But Reese March, well, he's many laps down. Oh, that's not good, Reese. But he is back in the race, effectively. If he can keep out of trouble for the rest of the race, he could be lucky. How many laps is he down? We're going to take a quick look. I don't think we can see that, unfortunately. I'm very sorry. But, yeah, Reese March back in the race from an unfortunate happening at the expense of Tim's front wing. So, we're going to follow Dion as he is... when he comes around, I think... Yeah, when he comes around, if Tim doesn't get out of the pits before Dion comes around, Dion is into 4th place. We'll cut to the front pack again. Vasilios giving chase to Francis McGinn. And Cameron Weston Edwards. I would think he is around 2 laps down from the leading pack. But I am not sure. And this was also the picture for last year's Indy 500, where it was Francis McGinn and Vasilios Balestiotis battling it out for the lead, and Vasilios was effectively leading that race, but a crash between him and another car led to the victory of the man you're seeing in the picture right now, Francis McGinn. Coming up to lap Cameron Weston Edwards. So he's going to go possibly 3 laps down here. He's probably 2 laps down, but he's going to be 3 laps down shortly. As you can see, Tim, he's fallen to P5. What has happened to Lance? Is he going to be able to... I don't think he is. So Tim retains 5th position ahead of Lance LeBron. But that crash has cost him massively. And Reese March, oh dear. He is... where is he? Let's figure out where he is. Bonnet. He's in the pits right now. So let's go back out on track for some action. And only 5 laps as Francis is starting to lap cars. This is the interesting part about this. When there's a huge crash at the beginning, the cars that they need to lap. I think that was Colin Higgins who got lapped by both Francis Indy and Vasilios. As Cameron is the next victim of Francis McGinn. He'll go 3 laps down if he doesn't hurry up now. And we only have 4 laps until the first caution comes out. So we're going to be very interesting to see how things turn out after that. And sorry for not commentating, but the leading pack is now boxing, making their way onto pit road. Both Francis McGinn and Vasilios Bellistiotis have come in for new tyres and probably also, if they're running until the caution, a splash and dash as it is known as. Here comes Sandro. He is many laps down. So he's on lap 14 and Francis is on lap 22. So it's quite a big gap. Let's have a look at Cameron. He's on lap 20, so he's only 2 laps down at this point. As he heads onto pit road, Vasilios staying in the pits for quite some time there. And you would think that this means Francis McGinn has just topped up on fuel to make it to lap 26, which is the lap where pit road opens during the caution. And he comes out right in front of Dion Stahl, who's running in a P4 right now. He is only 3 laps down. So there is still possibilities for the chasing cars to catch both Vasilios and Francis. So this race is for sure not over. We're only 1/4 of the way into this race. As Cameron comes out of the pits, as that was Dion, he had a hairy moment there, but didn't hit the wall, I think. Here comes... who was that? Was that Vasilios, I think? No, he comes here. That might have been... must have been... as Reese finally makes it out of the pits. He's on lap 2. Sorry for laughing, but he's been pinned against that wall for quite some time. He's on lap 2, while the leading pack is on lap 24. So next lap coming around, caution starts. So as Captain Morgan says hi, hello to you as well. Welcome to the stream, hope you're enjoying it. You are joining in when crunch time is about to begin for the first caution. As Francis McGinn, runs very close to the outside barrier there. Comes around, Lap 25 is underway. Is he slowing down? I don't think he is. Don't think he is. Might be next lap then. Might have been a little bit off by 1 lap. It seems as if, let's see, Speedo for sure. No, he's not slowing down. So that means next time he crosses the line, that means that's when the caution starts. Sorry for stumbling in the words there. So let's see. Lap 26. And there we go. You can hear the revs dropping. Francis McGinn is on the first caution of the day, 1 out of 3. And this is going to be very interesting. As you remember, if you watched last year's Indy 500, when the lapped cars were catching up to the field, one of the lapped cars, I think it was Colin Higgins, slammed into the back of the car of Frans van Houten and sent him spiraling, sent him into the air doing cartwheels. So let's hope that's not happening. If you're wondering why cars such as Cameron Weston Edwards and also Tim is not overtaking and unlapping themselves from Francis McGinn, that is because it's not allowed until lap 28, the beginning of lap 28. Then they get 1 lap back, and then everyone who is more than 1 lap down gets 1 lap back. Yeah, that's how it works. So coming around now, pit road is not open yet. So when Francis crosses the line here, pit road opens. Whoever wants to do any sort of pit stops can do it. And that is Dion Stahl and Sandra Doolis coming in onto pit road to make a stop. And here we see Francis McGinn leading the pack and leading absolutely everyone. Oh, what's happened there? Oh no, Cameron Weston Edwards, what has he done? Oh no! That was Francis, and Vasilios has flipped upside down, I think. He has! Oh no! We're gonna go on board with the Greek driver. Yes, his car is indeed flipped upside down due to the fact that Francis McGinn was put into the wall by a Cameron Weston Edwards who wanted to unlap himself 1 lap too early. That for sure is going to cause some controversy when it comes to dishing out penalties. And it looks like Cameron has damage as well, if he's not just weaving to get heat into his tyres. But Francis McGinn, what has happened there? Let's see. Vasilios Belastiotis flipped on his roof on the start-finish straight, on the entry to the first corner. And it all happened because Cameron Weston Edwards wanted to unlap himself 1 lap too early. Oh dear. As if there wasn't enough things happening. Cameron could well and truly possibly get back onto the lead lap, in fact. What is going to happen here? Is anyone going to pin Vasilios Belastiotis back on his roof? Back on his tyres, sorry. And he has gone absolutely flying there. What has happened? That is indeed Rees March being the hero of the day for Vasilios Belastiotis. Rees, who is, what is he? He's 11 laps down to the lead car. Has been a real gentleman here and absolutely spun Vasilios back onto the wheels. But right now, Vasilios, he is only 40 seconds behind, but that's going to increase significantly once Francis gets out of the pits. And here we have Cameron Weston Edwards. I honestly don't know what he's doing. He's on lap 27. If Francis doesn't get out of the pits, Cameron could well and truly take the he could take the lead of this race. So we see, yes. Oh no! Cameron has spun now. Oh dear, what's happened here? Has Vasilios taken revenge on Cameron? Or was that just a coincidence? Cameron has passed Vasilios. Francis is still on pit road. Does Cameron need to pit now? Because if he do... Here comes the... Oh my, this is so confusing right now. Dion Stahl on lap 25. Francis still sitting in the pits. Cameron is going to take the lead of the race. Cameron has... Oh my god, what has he done? He has pulled it absolutely... As Francis comes out of the pits now. What has happened here? Cameron is now the leading car as they head on. As he comes around now, he's actually going to restart the race again. Oh no. Where is Vasilios? He's limping back. Oh my goodness. Cameron Weston Edwards. He's going to be leading the pack. Oh no. This is going to cause major controversy. That's for sure. As Francis finishes his stop, he's going to be out right behind Cameron. That's for sure. And Francis is not going to be happy. Because remember, Cameron, he was 3 laps down. But effectively, with the trick that he pulled off right there, he has gained 3 laps back rather than the 1 lap which he was supposed to get back. All because Cameron unlapped himself too early. But now we see Francis, he's caught back up to Cameron, and now it is go time for the 2 leading drivers. So if you're joining back in now, if you're just joining, here we go. Oh, there's been another spin there. That was Tim Venting. Oh my goodness, what has happened there? Did we get the race? Is it not going to get going yet? It's not. It's next lap. Sorry. I have missed absolutely what has happened here. Okay, so they're going to get going after this. This is very confusing. To be fair, it was caused by Cameron when he accidentally touched Francis, who spun Vasilios onto his roof. So there's been a bit of confusion going on here, but I think next time Cameron crosses the line, it's going to be at full speed. So a very interesting race, and we're only 1/4 the way in. We're only 25% done, nearly 30%. So we're going to get going again. Once they exit the last turn, Cameron is free to bolt it. He has to bolt before the pit wall. Otherwise, Francis allowed to overtake him. What's going to happen here? There we go. Cameron Weston Edwards restarts the race after our first caution of the day. So drivers on the lead lap is Cameron Weston Edwards, Francis McGinn. Dion Stahl is 1 lap down. Vasilios Balestiotis is 3 laps down. So is Lance LeBron, who's actually going to overtake Vasilios once he comes around. Tim Venting is 4 laps down. Sandro is 5 laps down. Colin Higgins is 7 laps down. And Reese March, oh dear, he is 23 laps down. But Francis has retaken the lead from Cameron Weston Edwards. I'm sorry we missed that, but here comes Cameron. This is going to be a battle now. And not much has to happen. Cameron, yeah, he gets back past Francis to the lead. Let's see what's going to happen. It's already been controversial. And Reese March is in the comments saying, not a good day for me, sadly. And I have to agree, Reese. it has not been a good day for you. Not a very good first Indy 500, as he is many laps down. Cameron is actually pulling a bit of a gap to Francis. This is very interesting. Dion now in P3. Lance LeBron, who's making his racing debut in SRL, is up to 4th, as Vasilios Balaziotis is still sitting on pit road. No, he isn't, but he is 1 lap down to Lance. Sandro is 2 laps behind Vasilios, and Tim gets out on the same lap as Sandro. Higgins another 2 laps down, and of course Reese March, who is many laps down, 27 laps down to the lead car, 23 sorry. But it is Cameron who's taking the start, and very interesting development of this race, as before the caution it was indeed Francis McGinn and Vasilios Balastiotis leading by 3 laps to Cameron. Right now it's Cameron and Francis leading by 1 lap to Dion, so that's your top 3 right now. So that's a very interesting development of this race, as I think the closest battle on track right now, as Sandro Dulis unlaps himself from Francis. So right now he is only a mere 4 laps down on Francis, but he still has to re-overtake Cameron another time to be 4 laps down only. So yeah, not really much to say. If you have any questions about what has happened, why, and why it happened, and just in general league-related questions, I would be very happy to answer them if I have an answer for them. Excuse me. As Lance LeBron makes his way onto pit road, and he is for sure going to be overtaking my Vasilios at some point. Still Cameron leading this race. Not too sure if Francis has some sort of damage that he needs to. He's running very high indeed. Every single time we film Cameron, we see Colin Higgins peeking through. Yeah, not really much happening at this point. Lance making his way from pit road on back into the race, and he is still 1 lap ahead of Sandro, so still no fight there. Dion is on same lap as Francis right now, still 1 lap down on Cameron, so this could be a very interesting development for Dion as well, as Francis is on pit road. He's exiting now, so Dion keeps his foot in. He could overtake Francis. Question is though, is Dion still? He's probably not able to run until next caution, which comes out when we begin lap 51. There we see Dion and Francis swapping positions. Cameron leading by 1 lap. You would think that when he eventually has the pit, if he has to, I believe he has, you would believe that Dion is capable of still crawling back, but a bit of a stalemate right now in this race. Not really much happening. Dion trailing Cameron by 50 seconds. Is actually gaining slightly. If you look at the times, he is crawling in. This is very interesting. That could... it falls away now. So it's swing between those 50 seconds and 49 seconds. Yeah, as I said, not really much happening right now, so a bit of a boring development, you would say. You can see Dion. Is that Dion behind there? Yeah, slightly, but it's not significant enough. Still following Cameron here. Just what you see is Francis has a 16-second gap to Dion. So I wonder if he's closing in or if it's just sitting around those 16.5 seconds. It seems like it is sitting around those 16.5 seconds, the gap. As we have someone coming out of the pit. That was not Sandro, it was Colin Higgins coming out of the pit, as Sandro has caught up to Lance. Yeah. This is an interesting. So this is our closest battle right now. Can Sandro he can. So Sandro uses Cameron Weston Edwards' toe to crawl past Lance LeBron. So the Greek upper position, and here they come to lap Tim, that is, or unlap themselves. Cameron is lapping, Sandro, he is lapping as well, so Sandro looking to maybe, supposedly, get one lap back. Is it gonna happen though? Just a little bit interesting to see as Tim heads onto pit road. Let's see if Sandro can get the driver out of the second turn. And he does get one lap back. There we are. Sandro Dooley's gets one lap back. Now he's only a mere 5 laps back. So he still has job to do, but you never know what is going to happen. So we are on lap 42 at the moment. Not really much happening. There is a bit of a squabble to unlap themselves, but apart from that, isn't really a fight for position anywhere. The closest couple of drivers I believe we have are, yeah, that has to be Sandro and Lance. With a gap of 3 seconds. Apart from that, there's not really that much happening. So, if there's anyone watching out there who has a question or anything they want to ask, you can ask it, I'll answer it. And we are in that stage of the race right now where everything just settles down. Everyone gets a controlling speed of their car, they found their rhythm. And there's a bit of a thing going on here. Reese March involved again with Colin Higgins, I would believe that was. Yeah, you see that Colin is missing the right side of his front wing. So onto pit road he goes. So lap 35. So he's not that far behind, but Reese March, lap 21 for him. Coming around to start lap 22, still 23 laps down. Very unfortunate in that first lap incident. He got pinned sideways against the wall and couldn't go anywhere, and stayed there for, I think it was 22 laps, or maybe it was 20 laps or something like that. And then Tim Venting came out of the pit, oversteered into the path of Rees's car and spun him back onto the wheels. And then Rees headed back to pit road and spent a couple of racing laps fixing his car. So he is still running, but it's a good distance behind even the position in front of him, who is Colin Higgins. And yeah, he is a full 15 minutes behind the leading car of Cameron Weston Edwards. So yeah, there would have to be some very controversial things to happen to the front running pack in order for Rees to just catch up. And as we are talking about catching up, Dion has actually closed the gap to Cameron. It was originally around 15.5 seconds, and he's got it down to 48.5, so he's gained 2 seconds. And the question is if Cameron is lifting and coasting to see if he can get his car to roll until lap 53, sorry. And I just changed it because Cameron is heading onto pit road to top up on fuel, possibly swapping tires as Dion continues. And we could well see a change of lead in about a minute's time, unless Dion gets into a massive calamity with someone else in front of him, which I believe is Fox. We can do this. And Rees is following behind currently. So it's closing. It's Cameron heading out. He's heading out now. As we watch Dion, he has lapped Lance, and here comes Rees to see if he can also do him the... he can't, but where is Cameron? There he is. Here comes Dion, and Dion takes the lead of the race. And Cameron exits the pits. So let's see, what can the Brit do to crawl back his Dutch rival here. The gap is come out as he gets back up into speed. It's still dropping. We need Cameron to get back up into speed. And Dion is still going strong. So the gap is, at the moment, it's still growing. That's interesting to say the very least. And what is the gap? Let's see. Cameron completes his first lap on the new tires. And it is about 10.2 seconds. Just about. 10.1 to 2 seconds. So... now it drops. You would believe that was because going through the bends could cause the time to fluctuate a little bit. Actually, it is closer to 11 seconds now. So, and here we have Dion starting the second caution. There we are. So Dion leading the pack, interestingly, into the first caution. No, second caution, sorry. My mistake. Cameron comes around. He's still on the lead lap. Francis, he's one lap down. No, he isn't. Sorry. That's my mistake. He hadn't crossed the line at that point. But, yeah. 3 cars on the lead lap. I don't believe... Nope. Vasilios is 2 laps down. So, Dion Stahl, Cameron Weston Edwards, and Francis McGinn all on the lead lap. And Vasilios, I saw him in the mix there. He is splitting. There's actually a lot of cars splitting Francis from Cameron. So we have Vasilios, we have Rees, we have Colin, we have Tim. Who's that? That must be No, that's not Lance. Who was it then? Is it Higgins? Yep. No, wait, it isn't. Oh, sorry, that's Francis himself. And then Sandro rounding is the tail end of that pack right now. But I would believe that at this point it is gonna be, yeah, it is gonna be Lance when he comes around in P6. So not a bad race so far for him. So that's really good. So they've completed one lap of the caution, and when they come around, the pit road is open, and I suspect Dion to dive in and fuel up. To be honest, it's probably the smartest strategy is to top up on fuel during the cautions. If you can go the full 25 laps before the next caution on one tank, you should possibly look to do that. As we, yes, Dion comes in, so does Vasilios, Reese, Francis, interestingly, also coming in, and Sandro as well. So Cameron retakes the lead, Dion maintains second position, Francis in P3, Vasilios also still in P4, so this is a lonely train of 4 cars right now. That's consisting of Cameron, Colin, Tim and Lance. This could actually be very interesting for Lance if it's not going to be enough for him, unfortunately. So was thinking that Lance could possibly get Sandro back, but that's not happening. As we see Sandro, you can see top of his car just there. Vasilios, Francis, Dion, they're all heading out of the pit road. So they are fully operational. Lap 52 for Cameron. Dion is still in the run for this, as he has topped up on fuel. So is Francis and Vasilios. Those 3 drivers could well and truly be the ones to challenge Cameron. So let's see. Cameron comes around to complete the second lap of the caution, starting the third lap where lap cars get 1 lap back. So we're going to see Colin fly past Cameron. Possibly. Or not. Yeah, here he comes. There comes the drivers. There's Tim, Colin and Lance getting a lap back. Sandro is still at the pits. Has he made a mistake? Somewhere and lost a bit of front wing. Certainly has damage. I would suspect that he did put it into the wall at some point or crashed with someone. But right now, waiting to come around for this second caution to end. As we move to Lance, who has overtaken Sandro, so up into P5 again for the American driver. But is this the lap where Cameron boots it? Let's see. Here comes Dion. There they go. What? No, 1 lap left. Getting a bit mixed up here. This is the 3rd lap. Sorry. And here comes, who was that? That was Francis, I believe. Vasilios, he is on lap 53 as well. So still 1 lap down, unfortunately, for the Greek driver, who was running at the front. So we're getting close to the restart of the second caution for this race. And let's see how Cameron copes with this pressure. He has two drivers behind him that well and truly wants to get past him, and they are topped up on fuel. So let's follow the lead driver as we come around to restart the race for the second time. So let's see. What does Cameron do? When does he boot it? And there we go, pedal to the metal. We finished the second caution of the day. We only have one left, and it looks like Francis McGinn got a brilliant start there, as he effectively overtakes Dion and Tim Venting behind them, also getting in on the action. Here comes Coylan as well, swooping past Dion. Can Lance do it? Indeed he can. Does Dion have a problem now? Sandro overtakes him, as he's on the catch, on the hunt for Lance. And Francis on the back of Cameron almost immediately after the restart. So let's see how this pans out. These two drivers, they finished in the reversed order at the last year's Indy 500, where Francis McGinn won and Cameron came second. Right now it's the opposite. Cameron is leading with Francis chasing him, but I don't think Cameron is going to be able to hold Francis for that long. Even though Cameron is a brilliant driver, Francis just has a little bit more pace, it seems, as he's even trying to overtake on going high. So let's see, in the draft of Cameron, what can Francis do, as Tim also joins the party now. So let's see what's going to happen. Francis goes high, and he keeps the racing line as these three are running effectively. And here comes Tim. And here comes Francis as well. They are three wide into the next turn. What's going to happen here? Oh no! Oh no! Oh my! Oh! Francis has gone into orbit. Cameron Weston-Edwards has spun, and Tim Venting has also spun it. Where is Francis? Has he landed yet? Where is the... There he is. Oh my! He went into orbit. And he's lost his... Is that his... he for sure has damage. Dion retakes the lead. Cameron heading onto pit road. Tim, I wouldn't say he was to blame for that incident, but he certainly made effort to make sure that he was involved in that three-way side-by-side. So Dion retakes the lead after a dramatic restart. Where does this put Vasilios? He is on lap 57. He's only one lap down on Dion. If he can keep this position going into the third and final caution of the day, Vasilios could be on the back of Dion when we restart after that one. Sandro, lap 54 is he on, and he is giving chase to Lance, who for somehow has crept one lap ahead of his Greek rival. That is astonishing. So I just don't have words for this. This is amazing. As Vasilios claims second position for now, and there is just chaos everywhere. Cameron on pit road, Francis on pit road, Tim on pit road, and is that Francis heading out of pit road? It was. So Francis, he lost time. He is what is he? He is 2 laps down compared to Dion. But the good thing for him is he is still in this race. If he can crawl back, I thought he lost his rear wing there, so I was right. But oh my, we are just. Dion is on to lap 61 out of 100, and let's just say things have not quieted down just yet. So yeah. So let's just run through the running order. So running in P1 and on the lead lap is Dion Stahl. Then 1 lap down is Vasilios Balestiotis. Another 2 laps behind is Francis McGinn, who's actually only 1 lap down, sorry. 4th right now is Lance Lebrun, who is running, I think on the same lap. He's on lap with Francis, I would say, but I don't know. Let's see when he crosses the line. He's on the same lap as Francis. Cameron is on the same lap as well. And Sandro, 1 lap behind. Coylan, another, will that be another 3-ish laps? No, 4 or 5 laps behind. Tim Venting, 1 lap behind Coylan. And Reese March, yeah, on lap 39. I'm not gonna try and say anything there. But Dion leading the pack. Vasilios giving chase. He is in front. He's just in front of Dion actually. So if Dion is really sly here, he gets the overtake done on the Greek driver. Because if he does, Vasilios might be in trouble when he has to unlap himself. Because there's another comment on the live stream. We're going to check up on that real quick. And we only have 8 drivers now. So who is left? It seems like Francis McGinn has indeed abandoned this race. The driver who was leading at one point has decided to call it a day and left the session. So controversial. France is not going to be fighting for that Indy 500, which he achieved last year. He's not going to be here to retain it. So it's going to be another. It's going to be a new inheritor of this Indy 500. And I just have to give credit to our commentator, who's running in P3 right now, Lance Lebrun. If he keeps this position, he's definitely going to be my driver of the day. That is for sure. So, a bit of a stalemate at this point in this race. Not really anything happening at this point. Reese heads onto pit road. Vasilios still, he's getting closer and closer to getting lapped by Dion Stahl right now. So a very, very exciting turn of events. If Dion can manage to lap him, that's going to be the best for him. He needs to lap him if he wants. Then he has a bigger chance of possibly still keeping the lead out of the second caution. Because remember, when you are a lap down, oh, what's happened to Dion there? He lost some time. Did he just feel the effect of the dirty air there? Interesting. As I was saying, if Dion manages to lap Vasilios, that's going to be the best for him, because currently they are both on the same lap. But Dion is immensely close to lapping Vasilios. And the reason why it would be better for Dion to lap Vasilios is because right now, if the caution came out, if this is the situation when the caution comes out on lap 75. Vasilios gets to crawl back until he's on the back of Dion, and when everyone who's in between those gets to unlap themselves, Vasilios is going to be the closest car to Dion. If Dion can manage to lap, preferably the two cars in front of him, both of them, both Vasilios and that would be Colin Higgins. Colin Higgins is still going to be in between Vasilios and Dion when they get going again. So very interesting if this can happen. Let's see if Dion can actually pull it off. And, hopefully do it without any contact. But it seems like Vasilios is keeping in front of him purely because he has the draft of Colin Higgins in front of him. So the draft from Vasilios is not big enough for Dion to close up on him. But as we are waiting for some action to happen, let's talk about Season 5 of SRL, as there is not really anything else interesting happening at this moment, let's say. But yeah, let's talk about Season 5, and especially the Formula 1 season. Your leading man, Dion Stahl, as we mentioned at the start of the stream, he's retaining his seat at Scuderia Ferrari, and for the 5th season, he's going to be driving for the Red Team and also driving alongside Sandro Dulis. And many people like to believe that Dion and Sandro have been teammates for the whole SRL existence. That's actually not true. Because back in the day when the league started, Sandro Dulis actually had his friend Max Schaffner being his teammate, but then Max came into some trouble with crashing out lapping cars, and yeah, it really turned dirty for Max at that point, and Dion got promoted into the Ferrari team and has been there ever since. So yeah, that's the story behind Dion Stahl. He was originally set to drive for, I believe it was, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was actually going to drive for Williams in Season 1, but he never got the chance. So Dion's effectively first race was actually for Ferrari, as he is closing steadily up to Vasilios. As it seems like Vasilios has lost the draft, and there we go. Dion Stahl has lapped Vasilios without trouble, and he looks on course for yet another Indy 500 victory. In case you didn't know, he won the first Indy 500 in SRL ever held. And yeah, last season it was Francis who took the victory as Lance heads onto pit road as we lose another driver. Who was that? I believe... Who was that? That was Tim. Tim has called it a day. He realizes he's not going to win anymore today, so he has packed his stuff and left the session. We are moving on to Vasilios. Let's talk a little bit about his Formula 1 history. Obviously made his SRL debut in the Indy 500 last year, and came very close at one point to actually winning, but unfortunately was involved in a big crash that caused him to retire. And he also has proven to be a bit of a, I wouldn't call him a, I don't know what to call it, but he is a solid racer, to say the very least. He won the first race in the Formula 1 season in Germany, and has proven to be a contender for a possible Formula 1 World Championship down the line, but he has to be more consistent according to a lot of the drivers in SRL. As we start the second caution, yes, that is indeed the case. And a bit of an unlucky scenario for Dion Starr. He didn't manage to lap Colin Higgins, so Vasilios is still going to be the car right behind Dion when the caution is stopped. But getting back to Vasilios and just finishing his season off with Force India. As I said, many drivers believe that he needs to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say serious about his Formula 1 racing, but still not take to anger so quickly, and actually complete more races. And also many also believe he needs to learn to play as a team, which if you watched the Brazilian Grand Prix in the Formula 1 season, he accidentally tried to overtake his teammate who was in the championship fight. He tried to overtake Francis McGinn and accidentally crashed him out. It ended up in a 30-second penalty, which was very unfortunate for the Greek driver, as he was actually set to win that race, but his victory was stripped away. He was moved down to P5, I believe it was. And effectively that result cost him the third place in the standings at the end of the season. So a bit of an unfortunate happening, but he looks very strong for next season, let's say it that way, and he is set to prove something. He's at Mercedes for next season, and his teammate is Frans van Houten from the Netherlands. So that's going to be very interesting. And people head on to pit road, so very interesting. Cameron Weston Edwards, let's talk about him and his Formula 1 season. It started off very slow, you would say. It started off slow, but his season evolved as the season progressed. He was very unlucky in the first two races. He got sideswiped by one of the Force Indias at Germany, and in Austria the Haas, driven by myself, collected him after he spun on the exit of the last corner. He was facing the wrong way on the racing line, and he also retired from that race. But his season really picked up after that. He managed to finish P6 in the standings, and obviously he's moving to McLaren, a very interesting move, as he's going to be partnered by René van der Staap, who's also one of the Dutch drivers. And some people actually believe that, and say, not just believe, because it is possible that these guys could be contenders for both the Drivers' World Championship, but also very much the Constructors' World title, which McLaren has tried on several occasions and won in Season 2 and also Season 3. So for McLaren to be back up there would be solid for them. Lance Lebron, what's there to say about him? In Formula 1, yeah, he's going to do commentary, and but you're going to be seeing more of him on track in the IMSA Championship, where he's driving an Acura NSX in the GTD class, which is the lowest GT class in the field. It's going to be very interesting. As we take one more lap of the caution, Or do we? What has happened here? Dion Stahl, has he run out of fuel? Let's check. No, he hasn't. Oh, people are getting a lap back, sorry. Sorry. But yeah, Lance, you're going to be seeing more of him in the Indy Championship. And you're going to be hearing more of him during the F1 weekends. Sandro, we touched upon him. He is also retaining his seat at Scuderia Ferrari for a 5th season running, so not much to say about him. Colin Higgins, one of the surprise moves for this season, moved to Renault. He's going to be teamed up with Tim Benting from Netherlands, who raced here today but unfortunately retired. And Reece March, he is going to be at Haas again this season. He's going to be partnering myself at the American team, so we'll be looking to do that. We cut to Dion, as I believe... What is happening here? Yep, here we come. I'll be starting again. Let's see. No, we'll take one more lap. Or do we? We do, yeah. And just to touch upon some of the other drivers in the Formula One, on the Formula One grid, we're going to run them through quickly. Mercedes, they acquired Franz van Houten, retained him, and obviously acquired Vasily Bottas. Scuderia Ferrari, they retained Sandro and Dion. Red Bull Racing retained Jure Marusic and reigning world champion Nick van Gelder. The former known Racing Point Force India, now known as Sport Pesa Racing Point, have acquired 2 new drivers. They are Robin Hestadhagen from Norway and Brian Power from Norway. No, sorry, Wales. Sorry. We have Rocket Williams. They have acquired. They have retained Louis Quinlan as a full-time driver, and they have acquired Wouter Lotte, who is a South African driver, which is very interesting. And we're going to run them through the rest through after the restart. So we come to the restart, and there we have Dion. He bolts it, and he gets away really well. He pulled a gap straight away, so very solid from the Dutchman. It's going to be interesting to see whether he's going to be able to keep Vasilios behind for the next 20 laps only. So 80% done, 20 to go. That's for laps as well, as Vasilios has a look down the inside. And does he go for it? And side by side, and... Wait, is he... Oh, there. Wait. He missed... Wait. There must be a fault. Oh, wait. I think there might have been a glitch here. Oh, wait, no. That's because I'm looking at the wrong car, sorry. I was looking at Sandro's car. Getting confused. But a clean restart, it seems. So, very solid job from Dion. Now he just needs to keep his position for another 19 laps, and then he can proudly say he is a champion of Indy 500 for a second time. But to finish off the Season 5 drivers for the Formula One series, we reached Rocket Williams, which was Louis Quinlan and Wouter Lotte from South Africa. Rich Energy Haas F1 team is going to be an interesting one with absolutely no change. So So it's going to be myself, Samuel Brandt, and Reese March. We're going to take those 2 seats. Renault, we touched upon them as well. Kyron Higgins and Tim Benting. Then we have Scuderia Toro Rosso with Jan Holm and a new driver who was set to race here but didn't, unfortunately. But his name is Marcel Holler. He's from Austria. Then we have Cameron Weston Edwards and René van der Stap at McLaren. And finally, Alfa Romeo rocking up with an all-Portuguese driver lineup of Jorge Correa and Ivan Brito. And if we take a look at the IMSA drivers, as they stand right now, there are 16 available seats. There are 4 seats in the prototype class. There's going to be 6 seats in the GTE class and 6 seats in the GTB class, which is the lowest of classes. And, oh, here comes Vasilios. We're going to put that on hold as we watch Vasilios ruthlessly trying to find a way past Dion. Cameron behind is not the position. He is a lap down. And he goes to unlap himself. Let's see. Can he do it? Not quite. But the IMSA drivers as they stand right now are... We have 2 teams in the prototype class, which is Konica Minolta Cadillac, and oh, there goes Cameron. Has he gone again? I don't think he has. He just touched the inside wall. As I was saying, Konica Minolta and High Class Racing. For Konica, it's Sandro Dulis and Cameron Weston Edwards. High Class has Vasilios and Tim Benting. Then we move into the GTE class where we have Corvette, Ford and Via Italia Racing, which is a Brazilian team that runs with a Ferrari 488 GTE car. And the teams are set up as follows: myself and Nick van Helder in Corvette, Reese March and Dion Stahl in the Ford. Via Italia doesn't have any drivers at the moment, so they are still open for bids. Then we have the 3 GTD teams, which is the lowest class of GT racing. Here comes Vasilios to take the position. He does. So Vasilios into the lead now. But it is very close. Very, very close. As Dion goes back past him once again. They come into the bank curve. Dion goes high and it works out beautifully for him. But GTD class in IMSA, we have Meyershank Racing, which is an Acura NSX GT3 car. And those 2 cars are going to be piloted by Lance LeBron and Ivan Brito. Then we have Pfaff Motorsport, which is a Porsche, which is a Canadian team, and they still have 2 seats open if anyone wants to join. And then we have GRT Grassa Team Racing, and that is a Lamborghini GT3 car, a Huracan. Very nice car. Still no drivers signed up for that team as well. So we still have some seats open if anyone wants to join, and just send us a mail. You can either send a email to sandrodulis69@gmail.com, or you could also send one to srlleague@gmail.com, or even if you want to be more fancy, you can send one to samuelbrand.ps4@gmail.com. We'll try and answer you, and obviously we'll see if we can get you a seat. But back to the action. Dion seems to be stuck behind his... oh, there goes Vasilios around the outside. Very beautiful move. I was just about to say, it seems like Dion is stuck behind Sandro Dulis. and got a very poor run through the second turn, and lost the position to Vasilios. I was just worried there's someone, it sounded like someone on pit road exploded the engine. It was just Reese making his way onto pit road. There's still a battle for the lead. We have 10 laps to go. This is very interesting. And I think at this point it would actually be very suitable to tell you who is teammate with who, because there are actually teams at this race. So we're just going to run through those real quick. So we have one Genasi team, one Genasi car, that is Cameron Weston Edwards. Then we were, let me see, we were set to have 4 Penske cars, no, 3 Penske cars. We have 3 Penske cars. That is Vasilios Balestiotis, Reese March and Sandro Dulis, which is very interesting for this battle, indeed, because in front of the 2 leading cars is actually Sandro Dulis. So he's trying, obviously, to help not only his teammate, but his fellow countrymen to see if they can snatch a victory at Penske. Then we were set to have 4 Andretti cars. That didn't happen. We only have 2, with Tim Venting, who retired earlier, and Fox, Lance LeBron, who's still running at this moment. Then we were set to have 4 Schmidt-Peterson cars. That didn't happen either. We were only set to have 3, but only 1 turned up. That was Dion Stahl, who is running for the lead right now. And Sandro has released both Dion and Vasilios. The question is if that was a clever move for Vasilios, if Dion can manage to close up the gap and overtake him. As it seems like he might try something into the first turn. Nah, he wasn't close enough. Let's see, Sandro, he can get in the way of Dion. But getting back to the teams, Dion runs a little bit wide there. But we were supposed to have a KVSH racing team of Yannick Verpeten. He never showed up. Colin Higgins with the Peertech Murray showing up. And of course, Francis McGinn in the Ed Carpenter team. He is retired as one of the cars, as Dion gets a great drive out of the last turn. Let's see if he can actually, he does make the move. Vasilios got a poor move, poor drive, that's what it's called, out of the first turn. And oh no, they're closing up to another car, which is Reese March. So right now Dion and Reese gets out of the way, strangely enough. But as I said, Vasilios, Sandro and Reese on the same team, so they could help each other out, but Reese just yielded the position instead. So, 5 laps. You have been through 95 laps and we are on to the last 5. It's Dion in the lead, but Vasilios Balestiotis closing and closing, being right there if the Dutchman makes a wrong move. So he can't rest at this moment. Louis Quinlan is asking what's going on. I don't actually know what you mean with that, so if you could specify that, that would be very nice of you. As Vasilios gets a good run on Dion, let's see if he can make the move on the high ground. Takes the high line, he makes the move, but Dion has the low line. Cuts back and keeps the position. Very good driving there indeed from Dion Stahl. Side by side, less than a tenth between those 2 drivers. And we are now on to the 3rd last lap. Once they come around here. So an amazing race. And Vasilios loses a bit of ground to Dion there. And Oh, sorry. I might have confused. No. Ah, okay, that's what you meant. So Louis Quinlan asks, as Sandro absolutely bins it into the wall there, and Vasilios takes the lead. So Louis Quinlan asks, who's the favorite in these races normally? And what's actually happening in the race? So to take the first part of the question, who is usually the favorite? Obviously Vasilios, Sandro, Francis, Cameron and Dion, who have been the drivers that I've been trying to challenge for quite some time now. They have been top drivers in the Indy 500 pretty much every single time we have held this race, as we come on to the penultimate lap, as Vasilios is leading right now. Dion has one lap, this lap plus one more, to get the move done. And for the second part of the question, Louis, what's happening in this race? I think you would have to rewind until lap 1 to actually get a good sense of what actually happened, because it has been a mess every single time the caution has ended. So the best advice I can give you is to rewind the video once we've stopped the live stream and watch the whole thing again. As we come on to the final lap, Vasilios Balasiotis is leading Dion Star, and Dion, well, it's now or never for him, really. So he really needs, right now, if he can get anything that is remotely considered a good run out of the last corner, he really needs it. That would make such a great finish. They come around, last turn, but it's gonna be Vasilios Belistiotis who takes the Indy 500 of 2019 in SRL Racing League. Dion Star comes home in second place. We watch Cameron Weston Edwards as he comes around the last two turns, as he's going to pick up third place. Sandro Dulis has already finished the race in P4. And Lance LeBron, on his racing debut in SRL, finishes P5. Not bad. Colin Higgins, P6. Reese March, doing what he does best, apparently, in this race. That was a bit mean, but whatever. Reese March, bottom of the line. So it's Vasilios Balasiotis who takes the victory. And he only pitted 4 times during this race. So that is quite remarkable. As we also see Sandro Dulis, he boxed the most times alongside Reese March of 6 times, that would be. And a very good race indeed. Very, very good race. Yeah. So Vasilios, your winner this year of Indy 500. Dion, 2 tenths behind, not a big gap. So very good from him. Cameron, 1 lap down, and we ruthlessly get kicked out of the lobby. But that doesn't matter. So I'm actually gonna see if I can grab some interviews. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be with our winning driver Vasilios, because he is unfortunately not allowed to join. But we'll see if we can grab something with Dion Star. So currently we are just waiting to see if people want to drop in for a quick interview. And here we have Dion Stahl. Welcome, Dion.
Hey, Samuel.
So, you finished second this time, came very close to a victory again, but in the end, it was Vasilios. What happened on that penultimate lap? And welcome to Sandro Dulis as well, who finished P4.
Okay. Yeah. No, so, it was like I was fighting with Vasilios. He had slipstream from Sandro, and he had slipstream from me, and I had from Sandro, and then I passed him. He passed me, and we both passed Sandro eventually. And then in the end, I was just driving out as I could, and I tried to do it as fair as possible. And yeah, I was on the inside, and he was on the outside. But yeah, he had just the quicker run than me, and he passed me. Okay. And in the end, I just tried to be in his slipstream. But yeah, my tires were old, I was sliding everywhere, and then yeah, on the end, I think on lap 99, turn 2, I made a wrong shift gear to 5th in the corner, and not still being in 4th gear. So I think I lost momentum because of that, and yeah, that's why Vasilios won. But it was still possibly a deserved win, because he also got pole position, he was the fastest, and yeah, it was just a good battle, the best battle I had all the season, better than the Formula 1 season, so yeah.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask you about turn 2 on that last lap, but you answered it yourself very nicely. You shifted to the wrong gear and lost momentum out of the corner. Are you pleased with how it went? Obviously, you were running very low when we came to the halfway point of the race, but then we saw a calamity for Francis McGinn, Vasilios Bellis-Diotis, and I believe it was Cameron as well, when they crashed. Was it really that point where it turned for you, where you thought, I actually stand a chance of winning this race?
The first moment I thought caution, but the other guys that were in front of me hadn't, so pitted yet. So I knew that if all the caution periods finished and I just passed them without pitting before the first caution, I would be still in the lead lap. So I always thought I had a little chance, but it helped that everybody crashed in front of me.
Yeah.
Because of that, I was like already on the lead lap on the second caution, because I think I started the second caution.
Yeah.
Because Cameron had pitted and I hadn't.
Exactly, and we were.
I just invited Vasilios.
But he doesn't have a microphone, so.
He does.
But whatever, we'll take that later. But I was actually at the third caution, Dion. We were wondering here in the commentator box about because we saw you were trying to lap Vasilios at that point when it came very close to the caution. I actually said the optimal strategy for you would have been to lap the car in front of him again, which I believe was Colin Higgins at that point. If you had, were you actually trying to lap him as well, so you would have a car in between you and Vasilios when the restart happened?
I tried to start pushing, but it was like my car was not that stable in the corners, because I lost it when I got too much in the slipstream. So most of the times in the beginning, I lifted off from the gas, or from the throttle, if you say so. But it was like I didn't want to risk it, because it was still like around lap 65, and I was in the lead, and I was nearly a lap ahead of everybody. And yeah, if I would have risked it, and I already saw what could have happened with like Cameron, Francis, everybody would crash out. I didn't want to risk it, and eventually I passed Vasilios. But yeah, then I just had 2 less laps to catch and pass Colin.
Yeah. And well, thank you for the insights of what actually happened down on track in your car. I want to come to you, Sandro, now, because
Yeah.
you were involved in quite a lot today, especially after each caution. It seemed like it was just a big mess when you were like in the midfield, the lapped cars and absolutely everything, and especially on the first lap. Was it? I think it was on lap 1 actually. There was a huge crash going into the first corner. Were you involved in that, or what actually happened? Can you talk us through everything?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I only had 2 incidents. I don't know what you meant, but yeah, first lap, really unfortunate situation. I was on the front row, obviously. Colin Higgins got a really good start. He went by me on the outside. I lifted into turn 1, so I wouldn't like risk my race on lap 1 out of 100. That would be kind of stupid. So I saw in front of me Vasilis Beretsiotis and Colin Higgins going side by side for the lead, and I actually just looked back the footage. I think Vasilis got loose on the inside of the racetrack. He squeezed Colin into the wall, and that caused a massive pileup. I had no chance to avoid it. I just I T-boned Colin and went upside down. And from then on, I just tried to get back into the pits, which was a big task because my whole suspension was broken front and rear. Then I was stuck in the pits for repairs for like minutes 30, and I ended up being 9 laps down on lap 1.
Yeah.
So that was a big hit, especially after the week of practice where it looked like I would have a good shot at it with showing good pace.
Yeah.
The cautions
I just want to
yeah?
talk about that because I know you don't like to hear it right now, and I know it seems like I'm teasing, but I genuinely want to ask this question. Right now, we've had, 4 seasons of Formula 1 at this point, 3 races in Indy 500, and you're still yet to take a massive title out of it. Do you feel like you're just either not on the pace of the top drivers, or if you're just very, very unlucky and always being involved in these, as you said, 1 lap or first corner incidents? Because, I mean, 3 Indy 500s. Dion now, he won the first one, he challenged for this one very hard, and Francis has won the last one. Where do you see yourself sitting in that situation with, when it comes to like taking this challenge to the next step, where you actually start challenging for the front? Because obviously we keep saying that you are one of the favorites for Indy 500, and also starting a new season in Formula 1, you are at Scuderia Ferrari again for the 5th season in a row, and with IMSA you are in one of the top teams in that series. Do you think it's possible within a couple of seasons that we could see you win a title, or is it just going to be another question of what has been or what could have been, much like season 1 in Formula 1 was for you, obviously?
Yeah, if we let's just it's a combination of both luck, being unlucky and not having the pace. If we look particularly at Indy, it literally has been 3 seasons of unluck for me. I mean, in season 1 I was leading the race together with Francis all the way until 5 laps to go when he caused a crash, and I lost the race together with Francis. Last year, obviously, unfortunately, I was one of the favorites again. I think I qualified 3rd, I believe, like 1,000 only off of the pole. And going into lap 1, I had a glitch with the game, and my car didn't steer. So once again, really unlucky. And today, again, I had a crash happening right in front of me on turn 1, which just ruined my race. So yeah, Indy is just has been really unfortunate and hard luck for me so far. I hope I can turn it around maybe next year. Hopefully I'll be more lucky then. And F1, obviously in season 1 I just couldn't get the last few races together. I made a few mistakes there. That's why I lost the championship by 1 point. Season 2 and 3 I honestly just didn't have the pace. I got some podiums. I was like a good solid top tier driver, but nobody that could fight for a championship. And last season I just had a bad start to the season. At the end of the season I turned it up, got 2 wins, battled for the wins basically every week. but my start to the season just wasn't good enough to, get the championship. So it's a mix of both not performing and being very unlucky, and especially at Indianapolis.
And now, obviously, you talked about Formula One, you talked about IndyCar. There's a third series also coming to SRL now, IMSA, the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. And yourself, you're sitting in one of the prototypes, which is the fastest class in that racing series. You're having to battle with Tim Venting, Vasilios Belesiotis, and Cameron Weston Edwards to actually win that, the overall championship. Do you actually think it's possible that we could see you win that championship? Obviously, we haven't seen much of these prototype cars. Just at all. But do you still think it's possible, also with the tracks only being American tracks? Do you think that's possible that you could maybe snatch not only the class championship, but also the overall championship of IMSA?
The season yet, no testing for me as well. I haven't tested the car yet. I think obviously I've got really strong opponents, but it's really early to say. I think I could be on the pace. As people know me for putting a lot of effort into my pre-race, I put a lot of effort into practicing and testing and getting on the pace. But yeah, it's early to see. I'll definitely do my best. I really enjoy racing American racetracks. The American racetracks are probably one of my favorites in the world. I'm really happy to go to these places, especially Road America. I can't wait for that. Just let's wait and see.
And also, I have to ask you this, because now, so far in SRL, we've only had 2 out of 3 Triple Crown races. Next season, the third one is coming to SRL as well, the 2.4 Hours of Le Mans. Is that a race that you, as a driver, really want to win more than the Monaco and Indy 500, or is it equal with those two? And the same question for you, Dion, because obviously now you have won the Indy 500. You're still missing the 2 others. Which one are you looking to get first? If we start with Sandra.
Oh, that's a difficult question. For me, priority are Indy and Le Mans, because I don't know, they just feel more special, more prestige for me compared to Monaco. I think I would prefer an Indy 500 win, but obviously I would love to win at Le Mans. But I would be really happy to get the Indy 500 win, because especially I've been so unlucky the last 3 years. It would just be a big relief for me. Of course, I'm also looking forward to Le Mans, because I really like endurance racing. I've done a lot of endurance racing and real life racing as well, and I've done really good. So yeah, also looking forward to Le Mans, of course.
And you see Indy 500 as a bit of a vendetta at this point. Like, you need to avenge yourself, like, from the poor results of the last 3 seasons, or 3 seasons it would be now.
Yeah, you can say it like that. It's just every single year, it's only once a year. I have this big disappointment, and I have to carry this disappointment for 1 season, for 1 year with me, just to get another shot at it, and to get unlucky again, especially today. It's just extremely disappointing, and I really, really want to get it done. Hopefully next year. Let's just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. And coming to you, Dion, you obviously have one of the Triple Crown gems in your back pocket, which is the Indy 500. You still need to win the Monaco Grand Prix in Formula One, and also see if you can win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Which one would you say is the most difficult, and which one would you most like to win out of those 2 missing?
For me, I would say, after seasons and seasons of driving, I would say Monaco is the most difficult, because normally I'm really bad in qualifying, and yeah, Monaco is a difficult track to pass, because it's only walls, and if you want to pass, it's most likely to do it on strategy,
Yeah.
And that's why I think Monaco will be the most difficult. Le Mans, I would say, is also a really, really impressive race, and I would also like to win that race. And I think the race that I want to win most is Le Mans.
Okay.
But if I win Monaco, I think it would be the most prestigious of those two to win.
And just to spark a bit of championship or season 5 glitter onto this race. Obviously, Sandro, you're without one of the gems. You don't have any of the gems in the crowns. Dion has one. Which one of you do you think is going to get there first? If we start with you, Sandro. Yourself or Dion? Who's going to get to fill out their crown with the 3 gems first?
It's difficult to say, obviously, because, I mean, getting all 3 of them together is a big task. I mean, I think Dion has been getting up his game last season as well, and especially in the F1 League. After he gained a lot of pace, he looked better than he used to do in season 3, for example. Though to be fair, he's still a bit off my pace. I'm trying to get him there. We're in the same team. I'm trying to push him up. Honestly, if he wins the SRL Championship, I couldn't complain. He's my teammate. I'm carrying him as well. So does he. But yeah, I would like to. As a racing driver, you always want to be the first one to get the triple crown, in this case, done. So yeah, I'd obviously say myself, but I would be really pleased when Dion would be able to do it as well.
And Dion, obviously you have one of them in the back. As you said, Monaco is probably the most difficult one to take as a victory. Do you think it's possible to do it before Sandro? If we look at it.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, but I would say I've won now the Indy 500 and I've finished all times on the podium, so you can see that I have the potential to be a good oval driver. But yeah, if you know, some drivers the most of the public, the fans say it's only driving to the left. And I'm okay, so you can say I'm fast on ovals, but IndyCar is just the most difficult. Now, it's not the most difficult, but it's just really different than a Formula 1 car or than a Le Mans car. And as you have seen in the first of all seasons in the Formula 1 league, I've been teammates with Sandro, and yeah, you can say he has outdriven me the last 4 seasons. I took some podiums here and there, took some wins here and there, but I would say Sandro will win the Monaco Grand Prix earlier than me if I even get to win it. That's also a prestigious thing for me, because last season I didn't get any podiums, so a win would be a shock for me, and I think also for the most of the drivers. But then we have Le Mans. I haven't driven in any of the cars yet, and so has Sandro, and yeah, I just don't know how it is to drive on Le Mans, and I think most likely Sandro will get it first. But yeah, I don't mind him getting it, because yeah, he's my teammate. And he's also a friend of mine, and yeah, I would just like him to get it, and then I don't mind if I get it first or he gets it first.
Looking into season 5, we've just finished off season 4 for good. This was the last race of season 4 of SRL. New season starts in, I believe it's September, and obviously with a new racing series of IMSA coming to the league, we have Formula 1 and obviously this one-off race at Indianapolis. Who do you see as favorites for each championship? If we start with Sandro again, if we talk about Formula 1, who do you see as a clear favorite, and why do you see them as favorites to take that championship?
It's obviously early to say. It's a new game. The pecking order is always changing for the new game, obviously. With Francis leaving, I think the competition will be extremely high, much stronger than in the seasons before, probably. I honestly right now, if we continue the pecking order from F1 2018, as I can't tell how good guys will be on F1 2019.
Yeah.
I would say the favorites for this season are probably going to be Vasilios, Nick, Van Gelder, and I hope me as well. I mean, at the end of the season, all of us, Vasilios, me and Nick, seem to be on quite similar level on pace. It's obviously not clear to say now, especially obviously with new guys joining, like Tim Ventic, who has shown a lot of potential in previous leagues. So yeah, difficult to say for now.
And obviously also with guys that we've essentially never seen racing, such as Robin Herstadhagen and Brian Power. People we haven't seen driving in SRL or seen the pace of before. What do you think about those guys? Do you think they have a chance of biting into the top 10? And also for the guys who finished low in the standings this season, such as Reese March, Louis Quinlan, Ivan Brito, Juro Marusic, those guys, do they have a chance of fighting for a higher spot, do you think, in the coming season?
Like I said, it's always difficult to say with the new game coming in. The new guys, like Robin O'Brien, they will probably have some issues at the beginning of the season because they are rookies. They don't have like experience in the leagues. I haven't seen them racing yet. I've heard they're pretty solid, but nothing I consider as championship favorites at the moment.
I mean, the only one we know that how good he is Robin at the moment. He was racing in AOR Formula 4 when we snatched him up. So at this point, that's the only like waypoint that we have for his pace. And as you said, Brian, we don't really know for him at the moment. But do you think, let me ask it this way, do you think the championship is going to be closer this season now that Francis McGinn has left? Or is it going to be the same story of three guys, as you said, Vasilios, Nick, maybe yourself, maybe Cameron, maybe Rene, challenging each other, and then you have this midfield that's fighting for the rest of the points? Or is it going to be more of a mix? Do you think we could see new or drivers that haven't won in a long time win a race, possibly?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I think with Francis leaving, that makes the competition much closer for wins. I think Francis was a step ahead of most of the drivers in the field. So yeah, it will be much closer than last season. I'm really excited for that. It's obviously, like I said, it's difficult to say how quick people will be. We will see that in the upcoming weeks when people start practicing for the season 5.
Yeah.
But as of now, I'm confident that next season will be closer in competition for victories and as well for points in the midfield.
Okay. Dion, I can ask you something then. Obviously, you are in IMSA, you have signed up for a very, very, what looks to be a very exciting GTE pack, consisting of obviously yourself, Reese March, Nick van Gelder, and myself. At the moment, we still have 2 seats open in that category. But do you see yourself as a possible contender for like a class championship, like winning as the overall, winning the championship of the overall best GTE driver? Or is that going to be very difficult with some of the other guys? What do you think?
I would say it's possible for me to win it, but as you said, still 2 spots left, so I don't know who is joining the league still, or just the cars, and then but at the moment it's just us 4 driving, and it's just like one person misses a race and he's far behind, but if everybody races every race, then everybody can win it, I would say.
And also another question that I have for you, because obviously with IMSA also being a long-lasting championship over a whole season, we're going to see drivers from the Formula 1 series that are going to be working together with new teammates, such as yourself. You're working together with Sandro on a daily basis in the Formula 1 league. But when we come to IMSA, you're going to be having a new teammate in Reese March. Do you think it's going to cause some more excitement with this mix of teammates, like across championships, where drivers get to meet new drivers and race with new teammates?
I would say it's definitely better for everybody because now you get to know all the persons in another way because you're working together with them apart from competing against them, and with Reese as my new teammate, I think we can make a new strong teammate relationship, and hopefully we can fight for the championship, I would say.
Okay, I hope you heard that, Reese. He's counting on you, as it seems. So, I would like to say thank you, Leon. You came very close, 2/10.
Yeah.
Is it going to be next year that you win Indy 500 for the second time? And become the first SRL driver to do that, I might add.
It will be nice. I've now won. I've now finished first, second, and third. So yeah, hopefully it won't be a full place, but I would like to get a second title because it's always nice to win a race, and there was also the only podium this season, so it will also be a nice end of the season to get another win.
So you signed this season off as a positive, like with a positive vibe. You're happy with the way you ended your SRL season this year?
Nah.
Not really. I mean, obviously you
yeah.
wanted to win, that's for sure, because I mean, you came that close, and then a wrong shift in the second corner was what cost you.
Yeah.
But in the end, do you think it's a good way to sign off the season with a podium, second place?
Yeah.
And then you can prepare for next season?
Yeah, it's definitely better than just losing out. Like Reese, he finished like 20 laps down, and it was just unfortunate because he was sitting down on his side, and it was just unfortunate, and it's not the most fun way to end the season. But I think finishing second with a positive 5 that you can fight for a win is always better than just finishing 5th, 6th without having a chance to get on a podium.
Okay. One last question for you then, before we sign off this season in a way that should be done. I want to ask you 3 questions, which is actually just one question. I want you to name me the champion, the one you think is going to be the champion of the Formula 1 season, the IMSA championship, and the next winner of the Indy 500. Who do you think? Let's start with Formula 1. I know it's not easy, but...
It's a difficult question, but for the Formula 1, I would say that, like Sandro said, 3 main contenders in Nick, Vasilios, and Sandro himself.
And if you had to pick one that you thought he's going to win the championship next year, you haven't seen any of them race at this point. Who do you think is going to be?
Nah. I hope that Sandro win it because he's my teammate, but I don't know. I don't know how Vasilios is, because last year he had sometimes a crash or just a race moment and DNFing. I don't know if he still has that this year, because if he doesn't, then he has a big chance of making it because he also didn't race all races. And then
of
you have
course
Sandro. Sandro nearly participates all races. I think he did every race.
Yeah, he did.
So. Yeah, so he will always be in the points, I would say. If he doesn't get any points in the race, then it's probably a DNF or just a fucked up race. But so he always has a chance to get points every race. So that makes him another contender. And Nick is the last champion. You can say he's a new contender because you don't win championship by just grabbing some points and having no talent. So.
And obviously with Nick's championship rival from this season retiring in Francis McGinn, you would think that Nick could possibly be the first double world champion in SRL. But that leaves to be seen.
Exactly.
IMSA, we have 4 drivers that are challenging for the overall championship. It's Sandro, it's Cameron, it's Vasilios, and the new guy, Tim. Who do you think is most likely to win that championship? Do you think? If you just listen, if you had to pick one straight away, give me a name. Who do you think?
If I just the first name which comes in my head to winning it is Cameron, because Cameron is like in the IndyCar, he's always at the front, and he doesn't get involved in too much crashes. And if he does, he just gets back on track and still finishes really high in the points or in the standings.
Okay.
So I think he has a big chance.
Okay. And then of course, the last one, Indy 500. Who do you think is going to be next season? Is it going to be yourself or someone else?
Nah, I would if I would say, then I would pick myself. But yeah, if I would just give it to another driver, then I think Cameron also deserves it again, because Cameron has always been in the front, because he finished last season in second, this season in third. So you would say he would get the victory next time, like me.
Okay.
It season 1.
So that concludes season 4 for us. Thank you so much for participating in and watching all the races. If you've been watching every single race, we're going to be back in September, when the IMSA Championship is going to be the series that kicks off our season. Follow it. It's going to be IMSA, Formula 1, and of course IndyCar, which is going to be our main focus for next season. I've been Samuel Brandt. You can find me on Instagram on SRL Sam, and you can also go subscribe to all the league drivers. I'm sure they're not too difficult to find. Dion Star, Sandra Dooley's, you name them, they all have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the most important thing. Hit the bell so you don't miss any of the races. And I suppose we're going to be seeing you in September.
Wait, Samuel.
He wants to do an interview as well. So we just finished off the season way too early. Let's interview Vasilios then. Let's see, where is he? That's going to be a quick interview. He is currently... Is he online right now? Let's see. Let him join in. That's going to be a quick interview from today's winner, for sure. Hello, Vasilios.
Hello, Samuel.
So, Indy 500 champion.
Yeah.
I imagine it feels really good.
It feels great.
Good, because this is going to be a swoopingly quick interview, because you've now got one of the gems in the Triple Crown. You came very close to Monaco this season. Next year, Le Mans is on the track as well. Do you think you're going to be the first driver to grab them all?
I hope so, but right now we don't know, because personally I haven't seen the other drivers drive an LMP1 car. So I think the question isn't solved, the mystery isn't solved. We will see it in some months when the race is on, but right now I think I have a great chance to win it, because Le Mans is one of my favorite tracks of the world. I've driven there many times, also in LMP1 cars, but also in some other cars. So overall, I think I have a great chance to win it.
Okie dokie. And you were actually one of the shock moves for Season 5. You moved from Racing Point Force India to Mercedes in Formula 1. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it. That was Season 4 for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if we didn't have more time to answer any questions, but that's it for this season. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next season.